by stepping over their biggest rivals regionally, and for FUT, it's looking to get back to the top, somewhere they have been before, but maybe not for some of the players we currently see before us.
Yeah, standing in each other's path. This, well, you really couldn't write it any better.
Time to jump.
FUT on the defensive side to start out Summit. BBL chose it, and they have an attack start with a bit of pressure put in already. FUT looked for that fight on mid, playing again with that comp we saw the other day, how strong this can be. Sociable had a tough time when it came to the breach, especially in contrast to the map that came before it.
Be right back.
But the stuns were at times there, and it worked overall. To start out this round though, Zeus has hit the turf.
Well, that's the thing. They had a two-man stack up ready for that fight, and LaRock is just so fast on the way, like, flash through to set up SOP, but he's not going to be able to find anything. Okay, I thought LaRock should have died from that one, but he'll live to tell the tale. 8 HP, and the choices being made by BBL are the right ones. Only Crystalli in position.
Yeah, he's not playing for the retake either. Gonna need at least one from here. Already at a man disadvantage, that reveal's not gonna give much, except his position being given away. And for BBL, recovering that spike with ease gives him a 4v2 post plant. SOP's ahead of the curve, but caught by LaRock. And with that, well, the rifle round, it would be a save. Yedege, well, he had a 4K in the pistol round the other day.
Bit different.
Time to do it again in the post plant.
Yeah, this one's... The other one was tough, don't get me wrong. I didn't think he'd get out alive, but this one should be impossible. And unless BBL are just going to give over aggressive fights, and they don't really have a need to do anything of the sort, he's definitely going to be an interesting piece to the puzzle. Got a lot done on the defensive side, but I think the highlight for me is going to be SOP. Just in general in this map, and not necessarily for the reasons of, okay, it's that matchup versus BBL or how well he played. It's how slow he started. If he starts that slow here, they are losing this map because he was the only reason they won it.
Yeah, it was 2 kills in the first half of Haven. A really rough performance from SOP. But he managed to bounce back and ended up carrying that banner across the line. Like you said, a slow start here might be damning, especially against a team like BBL. 1-0 start for the attackers. And again, mid pressure from FUT. This time from a different angle, and the result not bad. At least 1 kill found already. The chance to put price tag on this round for BBL is going to be hard to really claim, though. They've come in with 2 pistols. So any meaningful damage going to require a lot of scalps to be claimed by FUT.
Even the Marshal's not that much of a loss. Like, it's a cheap gun, so it has maybe an added element of risk with only having those couple of rifles, and they do have to be careful that those don't end up hitting the floor. But as long as they get through the round, that's absolutely fine. For BBL, I think a strong start on this attack is going to be important. Of course, like I think they would have been confident coming into this map in general. I don't think they would have picked it just off the performance of yesterday, because it's such a short turnaround time if you're trying to come in with any sort of counter. Yedege, though, was mentioned on the desk. He was able to be very sneaky on this side of the map, and although the drone is going to clear, he's going to get past it, and there is nobody watching that backline anymore. Rose is dead for sure, and anything more than that would have to be a miracle. But it means that now even a singular kill on either of these players is not only worrying for the round, but very worrying for the economy.
Lloyd has 1 hit to that recovered Marshall. This could be dangerous. He's the man up close on site. First man to round the corner will be Crystalli, though, and it's a headshot. Cleanly delivered. Down to 1. LaRock on 24. And the round falls into the hands of FUT. 1-1 on the low buy. Sensational start to this map.
Yeah, it's crazy. A Motor Thrifty in round number 2, where basically nothing was invested for FUT. You look at this round, we said it was a little bit risky because they only had 2 guns, but even still, the way it started, you go, look, like, he's lost a Marshall, that doesn't matter too much. And, you know, then they lose a pistol, and that doesn't matter too much. And then eventually, it all capitulates to this. Yedege getting in from behind. And then Crystalli managing to close both the remaining out. That is an incredibly costly round for BBL and a huge moneymaker for FUT.
Oh, a massive round. And a great start to a map chosen by BBL. Now, LaRock has dodged a few shots from the Outlaw, and they've done decently to start this at least. Trades there, but SOP claiming a life. It's the advantage into the hands of FUT. BBL going for a chaotic approach, really throwing themselves at middle. Has gotten Rose into a decent position. It should be something FUT are aware of, but there's so many places he can go from here. There will be a gap. And by the looks of it, they have no idea the gap that's been left. Rose, the patience as he passes the first, but he'll claim the kill. The weapon here worth more. And the element of surprise with Sociable spotted, they might not expect Yedege up close. He should have the jump on them in this fight, and it's a good thing he does. But it's messy.
It's surrounded as well.
A real chance.
Sociable just about gets through that round. The spam should be enough to kill him. And the remaining couple had rifles all along, so this goes into the 1 versus 1. Crystalli had a pretty big disadvantage in the last. It's even on this one, and the damage has been done. 7 HP to Lover's Rock. And it's patient from Crystalli. Waiting in position. The rotation being taken, and there should be enough time for him to sprint all the way to the other side of the map. He can at least reset the battle. And is maybe trying to slow down his opponent on the way. Even still, though, a plant is guaranteed. Winning on 7 HP is going to be tough.
Crystalli's 4K is giving them a chance for a solid early half, but now Crystalli has one more to connect. His 5th kill to put FUT ahead. And it's Lover's Rock stuck in the corner, who shoots straight to his head. A needed quick click, or he would have been down, but a Red Bull clutch puts BBL back on the map.
It's such a weird start to this game. We said it was going to be competitive. We said it was going to be messy. It always seems to divulge into madness when these two teams play, but again, we've seen a player with a pistol do the majority of the work. Rose being able to get in behind just made so many problems. And then Lover's Rock able to close things out. Him and LaRock, 5 kills apiece. Come on, now there's a hero rifle on the other side, but dare I say, I don't know which way this round is going.
It's a hard one to call from what we've seen so far. FUT abandoning that mid-aggression from those first 2 rounds. Instead playing on the extremities, getting SOP into a position up in B main, having Yedege baiting them in for Zeus to strike from a corner on A. The BBL aren't going for an all-in play. And no direct attack for them. Instead, it will be a slow move through, taking that mid-control, filling in the space. And hearing Crystalli step up close, they're ready for that battle. He's been caught, stunned, catching him with ease is LaRock. And they know about SOP. These sites should be an easy plant. And especially now with that pick, all right.
LaRock has been doing that all the way through the game, just getting aggressive, causing them issues. And while SOP might think he has a flank, but it didn't even matter. There was a wraparound from Loiter coming in, but it ended up being irrelevant. The remaining 2 players not having any of the weaponry. And they might try and group up and fight for that gun, thinking, okay, we didn't see anybody pushing up, but there is now that player of Loiter. He's been dinked, though. He is going to have to fall back, but he's going to take the guns with him. He's like, yeah, you might kill me, but you're not getting a rifle.
Stealing sight.
1 enemy remaining.
Or you won't kill him.
5 HP, paranoia, and jumps into the angle. That's a confident way to take that fight. And he's running further. Real risk of giving them a rifle, and, well, he's just done that. The option there for Yedege, and he'll take it. All right. Carrying that forward, though, is just a consolation prize. BBL, after being disrupted in round 2, they're 3-1 in the lead. They've got to be happy with how this one went.
Yeah, if anything, it's given them a little bit of a boost, but I don't know if that's necessarily something you will take. Obviously, Lover's Rock going down to the spike at the end, but will now just invest into a rifle instead of having that sniper. This is what you want to see FUT genuinely get back into the game, though. If they are going to fight for this map, of course, Haven is a fantastic map for them in terms of record, but it's always been very close. And SOP already losing a lot of ground, but the swing through, they just completely ignore Lover's Rock and kill Kreven instead.
Convergence path, but Lover's Rock is on his own, so he decides to go to his teammates. Behind that box, though, there's no safe haven. LaRock carves out a slice of paradise for BBL. A chance to get that spike planted, and a chance that Loida has just locked in with Sop up in hand. 1v3, many men would turn tail, but not this one. Feels he still has a chance, but nobody's showing him even a pixel. Time ticking and not seeing head nor high to these players. You might think he'd run away, but no, continued to press on and Op gambled for the 1v3, and it's BBL out on top.
Give me the replay. I need to see what LaRock did in this round, because that was a mow down in a matter of seconds. Even catches the third player running back out. This is the level of individual brilliance. A level that has been coming for quite some time. A team. Lovely.
Soyberg on the track.
But yeah, a team that obviously started in Premier, finished second in Ascension, came back the next year, won Ascension, made it into EMEA, made it international. I'm almost out of breath. And now, look to try and make it to Champions. They really have had the perfect road, the perfect story. And the cherry on top would be making it to the biggest event of the year. Of course, 4-1 in the lead on their map choice. We've seen FUT just yesterday be 8-0 down and still managed to take a map, so they're not out until they're out, but this round at least is definitely some weaker weaponry that BBL are going to have to deal with.
Yeah, at least for now, LaRock hasn't gone in for the full dive strategy. And the thing is, a round like last is so scary because look what he did on A, and he can get back out. That's always the terrifying thing. For now, not even needing an exit strategy. LaRock is just walking forward, looking for the fight. And, well, the exit strategy was needed. Loida to grab the trade. Still some danger with that ult. Pop from Sop. He started to believe he might be laid flat, but sociable.
I know exactly.
He's giving them an opportunity by staying alive, by sneaking away. The ult will reveal him. With a Marshall in his hand, neither of these players will go down without a headshot. The same can be said with the Sheriff in play. Now the plant in, BBL can play this together. LaRock's already been on a tear. He'll be tough enough to take down on his own, and for just a second, Sociable had the chance to isolate the fight. But that window has closed on him now, and oh, he almost had it. A millisecond away, but 4 rounds behind for FUT.
Well, luckily for BBL, LaRock has been a safe pair of hands so far, dominating in a lot of these fights and being left alive at the end. Again, like we've seen FUT make these rounds incredibly competitive throughout. A flurry of kills in the middle that definitely made things that little bit more interesting. But
what's gotten into Kreven today?
I feel like
5-1. After the timeout, you have to think that things must change for FUT fairly soon.
Yeah, no, they definitely need to try and get things rolling a little bit. But as said, well, we saw this yesterday. Incredibly slow starts and then a spark ignites a flame. And well, we saw that yesterday as well. People trying to TP into audacious angles and being caught for it. Leaving them into a 3v5 scenario. And they still have the Hunter's Fury if there's a space to use it. But they do have to try and clear the player on the backside.
They were really hoping one of those 2 plays worked. Your mid, I don't even want to call it a mid lurk. Kreven on his own walking up there, the TP into spawn. Well, as long as one of those players can catch a blind eye, unfortunately, there were no blind spots in this defense for FUT. 3 players starting towards the A site. Sociable sitting in the spawn as well because he's got his Rolling Thunder, because he's got his stun. And it'll be needed now with Zeus down, the A site's open. 3 players on this side of the map, sure, but no one else that can stop this plant.
It almost feels like he fell asleep a little bit. Lover's Rock able to peek into the angle and take him out without so much of a reaction. Now the ults make this one seem easy enough for the defense. They've got so much to try and clear, but it's how much they even want to commit into this round, and more so if they're going to catch anybody. Straight away goes the Cosmic Divide. Lovers Rock, oh boy, there's the Rolling Thunder as well, trying to force them out of position. Sop even catches one on the edge, expects a play, and he kills Lovers Rock in that moment as well. Sop just does things that nobody else can do. No matter how you play the game, you must watch him and go, how?
I've seen it all, man. The knife through the Cosmic Divide is a normal strat. The walking in with the shorty, I like it. Get in, get out. The op through the Cosmic Divide, now that's a little bit more of a niche
He didn't even kill
play.
the close player.
No, I'm not even sure he was aiming for the guy behind. So there's the first. I need to see this.
Right.
I didn't even see the Yoru. Where's the Yoru?
Oh no, that's so cursed. That's so cursed.
This is like that movie Wanted. He's curving the bullets. How could he possibly have hit him? Oh, well. I suppose a lucky day to be LaRock, but it did just delay the inevitable.
Not a lucky day to be Lovers Rock. Ooh, early fight, and both players taking a hit. Accuracy on either side at 100%, but HP far lower. That early contact, again, you'd normally think this makes the players shy away from fights, but immediately re-swinging into another angle. Immediately looking to try and gain space for the side, while the rest of the team have kind of just sat waiting for aggression.
Expecting LaRock to appear out of nowhere and return to it moments later. Shot landed by Sop. Again, BBL had success there, creeping up on A, walking in and taking a free kill onto Zeus. Why not try it again? Well, now the op was waiting for them, even on 5 HP. It's a clean pickup for the defense.
How has Rose done this again? Managed to just walk his way through, but Yedajay, I think it was the steps that gave the game away, but he doesn't know how much space he's lost because of it. Maybe expected somebody to be in the smoke, and that's allowed for the trade. Sop, though, even on 5 HP. It's this battle again. It was almost closed out at the beginning of the round. Instead, Lovers Rock will close it there. Even still, a massive disadvantage. His HP also causing a problem, and Crystalli so quick, it leaves Loiter to try and fight versus 3.
He's been hit by the C's as well. Can make it out. Standing his ground, not an option either. FUT push up to 3, closing in that distance round by round. And for BBL, well, they've just seen a timeout on the other side. Some success found there, some solutions. Maybe we'll see one out of them in the near future.
Yeah, I think the second that Sop got a sniper in hand, that was where the game seemed to become... You what? He quick-scoped him through the smoke. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, if you're a professional player, if you're anybody, you must just watch Sop and go, like, I don't understand how he's able to pull off the things that he does. But I said it, if he has a slow start on this map, they're in trouble. But luckily, oh, you know, Bambino was saying the head coach is the easier of the jobs, right? That's what he was, I think he said something in the interview. 100% win rate as head coach.
That is true.
I don't think his win rate as assistant is as good. Either way, very aggressive start. The reveal's fantastic, but not quite enough. And again, we saw this pincer play yesterday. They got a round of streak rounds, attempted to try and make this push work, and ended up losing to it by being surrounded. And with BBL on a lower buy, sure, you expected them to try and adapt, so you wanted to catch them out. But they haven't caught them out.
No, not at all. The punish there for the attacking side, the space taken. And they look towards the A site, but now main is down. Rose is seeing nothing coming his way. And that door is just being closed on mid. They can walk it up. Again, this has been how BBL like to play on this map. This slower mid round. See if they can catch some players off guard. Even thinking about putting the paranoia through deep. But again, the contact prevails. Nobody spotted. The train keeps on moving, and it looks like it's going to round the corner just in time to avoid the gaze of Crystalli. Zeus alongside him. Stun is perfect, and it's caught them all! Lovers Rock the exception.
30 seconds left.
But Zeus was quick to put him in his place. And the slow play from BBL, well, Unfortunately, the walls were closing in on them a little bit quicker than expected. Hasn't paid off, and they've left 4 players up on the other side. The timeout, seeing no solutions.
And again, we saw yesterday, Bambino was giving a lot of credit over to Sociable and his mid-round calling. In this round, they group up all the way back after closing the door. They go swing in towards that A short side to clear out with a Prowler. They find nothing off that contact. They then all go back together. And in that time, he's piecing it together. Where they were, where to place his stun, exactly where they could have got to in those last few seconds. And makes it very, very easy for his teammates to get those kills. That looked like a perfect read from Sociable.
It did for FUT the entire round. Oh, what an opening as well. Sop's gotten onto Lover's Rock right away. And now all that's left for BBL is to go towards this B site. They've not left themselves any other control. The trap is passive to catch someone coming on their back. The only way is to go forward, to run into this site. Cristalli waiting. The phenomenal start to this map, and now a chance to put some numbers up. As it seems they'll defend that site with ease. Larocque, again, the last man standing. This time an ace would be asked of him, and he's good for 2. I'm getting a bit worried, and now a lot worried. Sociable's fallen, leaving just Yedige. And with an op in Larocque's hands, he is far from death's door. And 1 bullet from a 1v5 ace. You talk about how much these games mean in the Turkish derby. Imagine how much an ace is worth.
I think he might have to get it tattooed. He definitely have to have it put on a wall. The day the FUT fell to 1 man in Larocque. It's felt like that throughout this game so far. A 1-man army that has stood in the way of FUT getting through a lot of these rounds. And while let's be real, it feels like he's done the hard work, but with 47 HP, the rest of this FUT side normally being called that sort of aggressive flair, while Yedige is known as that safe pair of hands, and his patience might pay dividends. It is so close for Larocque, a millimeter away from maybe one of the greatest aces of all time. But Yedige is there to ruin the party.
And he's unfazed as well. Larocque showing across the stage with shaky hands.
I don't know if we can get it, but I'm pretty sure when all of his teammates died, I looked at Yedige's cam and he's just laughing. He was just laughing. He didn't feel, it wasn't like, you guys are idiots, like you've just thrown away, like why is this all on me? He was laughing. Find me another player who's that calm in those moments. Either that or it was a maniacal laugh. What are you guys doing?
You want to know how I got these scars? It was Larocque. The 1v5. Well, Sop now. A shot through the smoke was his attempt. He won't find anything. Lover's Rock emerges in a different dimension, and he's actually done a decent bit of damage. Yedige sporting some scars as the plant comes in on the A site. The flank detected. Rose is going to tuck in. The problem here for BBL is that they have no control. They've got the site, but the flank is under pressure. They don't have cave, and they don't have short. We need to see them fight for something. And it looks like towards the spawn, convergence path in. Lloyd already on 1, but the deep swing hasn't caught Cristalli. He could be a thorn in the side if there's anything left of the defense to join up with.
Well, there isn't. He's now all that remains. A nice shot at least, but it would have to be a whole lot more. BBL are going to take the lead once again. They earned it in the early rounds. Larocque almost claimed it in the last. But I am getting flashbacks to yesterday for FUT. An incredibly slow start, a streak of rounds, them getting very aggressive after the streak of rounds, and then the half ends 6-6. So we'll see if it's identical. But then they go on to the attack, and that's where they look more comfortable. That's where you can have this double duelist truly thriving. Of course, I'm still excited for the Larocque Lover's Rock defensive aggression, but we'll pause on that front for the moment. Cristalli and his team are walking up. The stun is sublime, but even still, with only a bullet, he was stunned up! He shouldn't have been able to get 2 from there. They're sending everything to kill these players off, to clear them from this aggressive front, and they will do so.
It's a great start from FUT, and they might recover it still. Sop in position with the op. And it's a question of which way he looks in heavy traffic. Players on either side. The timing is key, but he tucks in. a nasty corner. And there's now no way across for Rose. They want to re-clear it, and Lover's Rock is doing his best. He'll check every corner and eventually find at least the trade. The last man standing, I don't know if it will be Smiles, as he's now fighting a 1v2 for that 6-6 half, and the patience from Lover's Rock gets its reward. A 4K to close out the half, and 7-5 BBL lead.
Yeah, it seems like it took them a little bit of time to sort of figure out what was going on with FUT and how aggressive they were being. But towards the end especially, Lover's Rock was able to work out what was going on. And with perfect timing after that 4K, we also had an interview with him a little earlier on.
Lover's Rock, you're up against another Turkish team today. You're up against FUT. What's the energy in BBL anytime you go up against a rival like this?
I mean, it's of FUT, and of course for you, all you got to do is scan that QR code if you want to go to Barcelona. Our Stage 2 finals are going to be there last 3 days. That's what these boys are fighting for here. BBL winning that fight in the first half.
Yeah, just about. Again, we've seen these slower starts from FUT, and we've seen the fight backs. Going into the attack side, it's where they had their favor last time out. Of course, for BBL, this map was more of a surprise factor than anything else. Them bringing it out almost as a statement of, we saw what you had yesterday and we weren't impressed. For the defense. They have a lot to go looking. That's what's good about the way Yoru. They can get into aggressive positions, they can go looking into aggressive angles, and they can find pieces of info. And for now, at least, the spot's not bad.
Well, Paranoia's just caught. Soft can't accelerate as much as he wanted to, but nothing's holding Zeus back. Lover's Rock will push him back, keeping that sight for BBL. All by his lonesome. He's got Kraven on the way, but for now, he's got to hold alone, finding a safe corner to tuck away in and waiting for backup. And the problem is, once they get together,
30 seconds left.
that advantage slips away from FUT. The HP low, unsociable, and they're worried about a flank. 20 seconds. I don't think they have a choice to go back to the B side anymore. Wrong read.
Oh yeah, that's the thing though. Sometimes you don't need to rotate all the way back in the other direction. You just need to sell the idea that you did. But the fact is, there was only really one gap where the trips weren't covering. You'd have thought they would have hit it by now. And that's why FUT turn at least a little bit, or sorry, BBL turn a little bit earlier. An aggressive position held though. And Yedajay knows that that was a fake TP. It's not fooling anybody. It's right in front of him. The plant in a spot where he can look to make it back in a moment. And Lover's Rock is definitely wary of some of those positions. There's the stun going through, but they know nobody's on it. He can just duck back into this corner again, even keeping an eye on that position. The plant, it gives it away. It gives the idea away. And Lover's Rock now looking to close around. He started with an ace as well. Lover's Rock will just about get things closed. An ace for him, and well, it's safe to say we're happy to see him back on the Yoru.
9 kills in 2 rounds. I think he's feeling a bit comfortable down there on the stage. 18-7 is Lover's Rock. And
can we watch Zeus
play. The kill on the Zeus. Blind. He walks out of the smoke, but it doesn't improve his vision. He started that round with confidence, but he quite literally didn't know what hit him in the end.
Oh, fantastic round, and one that's likely to be an important one. The pistol under their belts. But they do have to be careful. They might have learned their lesson from the last one. He got 2 to open up the last second round, but he didn't get away. And already a third. Surely not the back-to-back aces. They've got to try and give it to him. There's not many players in the world that will ever have managed 2 in a row. If there was a spot to jump off the map, I'm sure the FUT players would be attempting it. Maybe if they can get to a door. Yeah, there you go. That's their safety net, almost a collapse to end it. 1, Ram, no! Oh, it was so close to a double ace. Ah, that's literally a minuscule amount of HP.
Oh no, he should have reloaded the Outlaw. He should have reloaded it. Screamed at everyone, don't you dare peek. What a nice try though. A 4K, an ace, and a 4K. We talk about players building confidence. I don't think the lack of an ace here will knock him down too much, but
he's got his ult.
It would have been something beautiful.
And he's 22 and 8. I don't think he's going to care too much.
Could be 23 and 7.
That's also true. He's been given a rifle into this one. Rose has taken the sniper. A great position from BBL to now play from. They got a great start in the last half as well. That's what's putting them into the lead. And well, more importantly, it might be Lover's Rock.
That's cheeky from Lloyd just running in to nab the rifle. And he gets out. Nice
well, it's a bigger risk. It's not even a rifle.
Oh, yes, indeed. It's just a Spectre.
He's grabbed an SMG. He's risked his life for a Spectre.
I think the Bandit might even be better than what he's taken.
Well, one of them is one shot to the head, and it's not the Spectre.
No, it's definitely not the Spectre. You need a few bullets, maybe a magazine. They've spotted them outside the A site, so, well, now he's going to be quite thankful to have that weapon if it comes down to spamming that smoke, and it may well come down to that moments from now. The peek from Rose in either direction, he's in trouble, stuck in a smoke. The reveal's going to give him away. He has seconds to react, and he'll be shot in the back, but he's taken enough before he's fallen.
Yeah, he's also given his teammate a kill.
30 seconds left.
It's a round where there were a lot of vulnerabilities. Kraven looking to make the rotation. Maybe even opting to just play this one together. This is a must-win round for FUT. In fact, the next few seem like must-win rounds. Instead, though, they want to reset the positioning. Put some doubt in the minds of the FUT players. Maybe make them believe that they're still back towards the spawn, although Yetajay has gone and cleared the majority of that. I think he now knows that the position is going to be on the other side. The spams not finding anything just yet. They're trying to bait an awkward fight and swing this one together. And while Sop is quick enough to clear out both. It's a round for FUT. It's not a pretty one. It's not a clean one, but it's a round nonetheless.
He knew they were going to take that peek. He knew it. He was waiting and then fires a couple shots through the smoke. I think he even knew he wasn't going to hit anyone. He just wanted them to peek, and he got the fight he wanted. A shot to get them interested, and a few more to put them down. Look at that bait, man. He's flicking back before they're even through the smoke. 9-6 for FUT. Sop, again, the beating heart of this team. They've 3 rounds to make up. Some ground between them and opposition. An operator in the hands of Lover's Rock, but he's on the other side of the map. He won't be doing much from there. And the showstopper, well, oh no, the TP taken from Loida! He tried to get away, but he walked right into Zeus's path.
Yeah, he was worried about his current position, not his future position. And while Rose has tried the same shenanigans again, hey, I'm going to get on the edge of this smoke and throw a dart out of it. Well, it's safe to say Yetajay wasn't particularly happy about the last one and has made sure it doesn't happen again. For the remaining defenders, an operator, rifles across the board, and some incredibly low players in terms of the credits. It is not worth fighting for anymore. So FUT have managed to sort of bring this one back to a stabilizing position. The last round was an expected one, but this one, a much cleaner round.
Yeah, money maker, so safety net for the future. Dealing with those players with, well, what looked like relative ease, but the showstopper has its way to get you into the site. It is just unfortunate that Loida, again, he has a choice of where to TP, back towards the elbow, but realistically, when they take the site like that, that's where you expect the shot to come through, right? Blind fire through the smoke. We've seen it many times in the past. So instead, tries to be a bit more proactive, and that signed his death warrant. 2 rounds between them now, the gap closing, and more importantly for BBL, saving those weapons. It hasn't given them a strong buy here. In fact, it's what remains alongside a couple of scraps.
Cutting through.
To be fair, Lover's Rock and LaRock having a gun, in most occasions, have been all they need.
Lover's Rock having an op as well. Yeah.
It's how risky he wants to be, though, because the problem with playing against someone like Sop is he's going to expect the things that you're going to do, because it's the sort of thing that he would do. He was watching that smoke ready for someone to try and make a move through it.
Need that back.
FUT putting pressure forward. Bear in mind, Rose. Oh, this would be a problem. If he puts the drone out here, Sop is sliding through and killing him immediately. And I think that might have clicked at his brain, but maybe not quite quick enough. The stun, it's actually caught Sop, but he still wins the fight. Irrelevant in the end, but a setup maybe for Kraven. He's still going to try and dance around his cage. Sociable ready for the flank, but they know he's here, and Crystalli quick to execute the remaining defender of that site. And yeah, for at least for one of the players, that operator is still worth holding to the next.
Yeah, Lover's Rock was a little hesitant going in for the fight, and I think he was just waiting to see how that site fight played out. It not going their way means that op is more valuable in the next round. Remember, this was a mixed buy, so some players carried weapons forward, some bought scraps, but they all kept enough for the next round. Moida's farming up a few more credits, and Lover's Rock probably wishes that he was there now. The round's gone from unwinnable to looking likely, if anything. Loida's even caught Sop off guard. Hell, he might win it on his own, but he doesn't know where Sociable is. And the time is ticking now too fast. It would have to be halved, but he will make them pay for this round. That's for sure. A 4K and a save. Hey, that's just fine. Great work for Loida.
Yeah,
a Red Bull clutch from Sociable
the spike.
wins the day.
There's a Red Bull clutch on the spike.
That's a 1v2 for Sociable that's going to go down in the history books. Masterfully played.
Oh, yeah. An incredibly costly
hit in the corner.
Yeah, the worst thing, did he even catch Rose?
No, he didn't. No.
Because I was going to say, do we count that as an assist?
Not
but
even
we
he,
definitely don't.
Not even he expected Sop to go that far. That's the problem with this guy. He's so aggressive. He'll even catch his own IGL.
We saw it yesterday where he puts an aftershock through, and on the second burst, Sop just dives into it. So
it's like 8 HP, and he said, I think I could tank that.
They won the round regardless, but again, an incredibly costly one. Luckily, FUT have built up some serious credits. Unluckily, this is the first time they've actually walked into Larocque. He's been on the wrong side of the map, either side, and even a little bit cheeky to try and go back for that. The thing is, though, you look at the ultimates available. FUT not only have one online already, but a second on Crystalli or Sop. Probably Crystalli. Seems all but guaranteed, although actually an overdrive alongside a Rolling Thunder is actually a pretty nasty combo.
Well, they lose one and start to play it slow. Prowler towards the A site for BBL. Well, that's going to keep 3 around this position. Larocque is back up. Lover's Rock with the op. Holding from afar, and with Yedege down, it's going to be hard to remove that sight line. Closing the door is one way to do it. But now Lover's Rock is set back up again. Op on the side, won't catch the first. Sop is right in there. Put Loida. Ever the problem for the side of FUT, and with Rose backstabbing, it's gone from bad to worse. BBL 10 to 8 now.
It feels like one of those rounds where it's just a little bit more disjointed. Because I even said it, like I think the overdrive in combination with the Rolling Thunder is quite a nice touch. There was no combination, because by the time the Rolling Thunder went through, both players that were in there were dead. Look, it went through there, right off those 2 kills. It feels like just the timing was a bit off the foot in that final execution.
Let's go! Nice!
Wow, it made things a little bit easier. It's safe to say BBL are pumped. I think knowing Haven's coming up next. I think it's 8 wins in a row now for FUT. Although very close wins. I don't think any of them have been clean as of recent. I think for FUT, they'll know that if they do lose this map, it will have slipped through their fingers rather than BBL being a dominant force. A couple of the players have certainly been, and more Sop looking to challenge one of them as it stands, and he is not going to win that fight. And you can see Larocque is definitely pumped to win that one.
Oh, he's letting them know. Shooting the bodies early on.
If there's anyone who's not going to be fazed by that, though, it's Sop. Like, he might shush you later if he gets you, but I don't think he's going to care.
From what we've seen so far, but Turkish Derby, Champs qualification on the line. You never know how these things take shape on game day, especially on a game day like this. For Zeus, door closed, but the drop down's already in effect. BBL have 2 players in there and a nade on its way. Causes problems for Kreven, deals damage as well, but Lovers Rock far enough back. He fires into Cristalli, he fires in again! A sociable falls, and Yedige can't see a damn thing! 11 on the board, BBL pushing up towards that map point, and it's FUT falling way behind.
Yeah, I actually like the execution there from FUT. Like you have the Fador going through initially, the Cosmic Divide that makes things a bit more uncomfortable. Even having the nade into this position, but it just doesn't go far enough. And that piece of control held by Lovers Rock just made things more easy, but also just how fast BBL were coming back into that site. It's going to be a second most. I think you'd put Martin in a similar bracket at the beginning of the year, was he just knows when to leave. Like, it doesn't matter how many kills he gets, the choice he makes of when to disappear always seems to be the right one. He's probably going to get shot in the head now that I've said that, but
well, all this
so
is
far
unobtainable, right? All you want is far more often than not, or even just more often than not, but far more often is what he goes for. This time, punish is there.
Knew it.
Zeus claims the kill. The caster curse comes through. It's on to Rose now to carry this team forward. Great reveal on the trip, has given him one. He'd already claimed another with Sociable last man standing. This round proves to be a formality. And after the pause for FUT, all hope rests on 4 rounds in a row, here and now. And this is the problem as well, like in Lovers Rock Falls, we'll think about what happened when they bypassed it on A. They shut the door, they slid past the opening shot. Loida stood very strong. This round, the same thing. They deal with him, you've got Rose, you've got Kreven set up.
I think you also sit there and go, okay, if Lovers Rock is that passive, they're maybe playing a retake, we've got a low buy, they're not going to just be sat in the smoke with a rifle against a low buy, because that seems ridiculous, but they are confident in these moments. And already an early setup just to clear out Yedige. That lurk is gone immediately. If this was supposed to be the round that FUT turn everything on its head, that's not the start you're looking for.
Lovers Rock, of course, hits the shot onto Zeus as well. For FUT, there are moments that they felt in control in this game. They started 5-1 down, but climbed back into it. But we're seeing why BBL chose this battleground. Lovers Rock thriving. And every opportunity so far, he has found. This one, ridiculous onto Sop. An immediate reaction. And he's looking to close it out from behind. A dimensional drift. And puts his 3rd of the round. And he stops just shy of 30 in regulation. What a start to the Turkish derby. With an in-zone flawless for 13 on the board.
Yeah, it's utter madness how well he's managed to play in these sort of... But they will have known this was coming 100%. Like, when you are up against a team that has won Haven 8 times in a row, they are going to pick Haven if you give the opportunity. You have had time to adapt. You've had time to change back to that old school setup with the Yoru in play again. It's whether or not they can beat a team that have been flawless.
Not many have been able to take it across the line, but making it close has certainly been the main thread for FUT. A strong start out of Sop. He's got a double Cristalli in the same boat, and together they're holding down that A site without any need for backup. Clean beginnings for FUT. And another lights out pistol for Cristalli.
Yeah, no, he's been having a great day, and well, I think more importantly, it's the same sort of highlight as yesterday. Sop on this defensive side was phenomenal. On the attack was woeful, with probably the worst half we've seen from him maybe all season, but he was able to turn it around on that defensive side. And I think that might be why we've seen him swap back to the Jet. I think for the attack side, it might be that little bit more important for him, but there was no way through when Liquid tried to find a gap in this defensive side yesterday. And well, you have to hope for BBL's sake that they have a better idea at how to beat this squad.
Well, even with the trips towards the B site, they've already left A. FUT are playing a big gamble up against the Eco, and it's worked out. Where that read? Oh, okay. Lovers Rock does quite a bit of damage at the end. It looked like it was going to be clean. Where that read came from, I'm not sure. Like, we start with a Sova on A, trips on B, 2 players there, and they say, you know what, Sova, leave A, come to us. But, hey, the perfect call.
Yeah, I think
Jet rotating around either way.
I think this has been quite a common thing, though, where if it's going to be a faster pace round, a lot of the time you do see teams dive in towards that B site, especially with a lower buy, especially with pistols. But they get through that one with relative ease and with pace. And more importantly, Cristalli, one away from getting his ultimate online. That's why they're challenging so aggressively for this control. Zeus has found the opener, but then they've got that orb for Cristalli. So even on this C side of the map, it's not going to be comfortable. For Yetege, his goal is to delay. And while he's walked head first into Loiter, I don't think he expected him to be anywhere near that close.
He dodged the drone, but Loiter somehow dodged his shots without moving. Phased through them, let's say. They phased right past him. For BBL, that's an opportunity. The numbers back to even at least. It's not like there's any weaknesses there for FUT. Zeus taking down a man to the good for just a moment. Shock Dart hunting down Larock with precision. And now, well, the only unaccounted for position is Kraven. They know about Long. They've heard Loida fleeing the scene, but Kraven is just rounding the corner. He's found one. They're sticking right under his nose. Now it's down to Loida to try to stop this. The spam through the smoke, not gonna work. And Sociable even claims the final kill, the icing on the cake for 3-0.
Yeah, I thought when that Hunter's Fury didn't hit and it went back to a 4v4, that was going to be the defining part of the round, but instead it was the re-aggression back into the site, the shock darts into the back corner. Cristalli as well is just having a lights-out game. It was so integral to clear Larock from this position. And well, a weird celebratory noise coming out of SOP, not one that I've...
A celebratory noise, you sure about that?
Well, they won the round, so, you know.
I think he might be having stomach issues. That was unsettling. But I almost hope for more of it. Unless he's in pain, then well, I wish him relief. 3-0. A strong start for FUT, as we said, and now look what they're up against. It's a couple pistols upgraded. And a weapon or two. For BBL, they'll rely on the pack mentality, the direct approach. Yetege's already been spotted. The cage should make this difficult. Lovers Rock is on his own, but he's posing a threat. That bandit is enough to keep Yetege back. The decoy gives away the outlaw on the side. The cage robs them of information. The thing is, what do you do with that void you've created?
They heard the dash
3 players
across.
towards C. They see no more contact, and eventually they'll either rotate to find that information elsewhere, or you'll end up running back into the same old site.
Yeah, they really need Larock to get something from this. And yeah, when you're walking into SOP with an outlaw and you don't have the shields to survive a shot, they're basically just creating a firing range for him to battle from. And while Larock eventually gets his one, but even getting past this is going to be difficult. And SOP is just trying to dodge his way through. He doesn't hit the shot in the end, but I think he remembers earlier that there was a guy pointing at him and shooting his body and maybe wanted a few flex points.
Yeah, I mean, also, if it was because he already had his ult, then fair play, my man. Found it with this kill and then just runs. Not even a shorty out till the very end. And he had a cheerleader down on that stage as well. God, I'd pay money to have that in my ranked games.
Well, you wouldn't
a lot
hear
more disappointment in his voice.
You'd need your game sound off the chart if you want to hear any steps. And while maybe that needs to be the case for Rose, I think he knew that enemy was coming, and that enemy is not stopping. He's had enough of the knives. He had his fun. That's all the information. And look at the we have swapped sides. We've got our defenders on the attack. And the attack have absolutely no idea how many players are behind. They've tried to bait them with the spike plant, maybe hoping somebody will swing out of B. While Zeus has gone down, actually so has Yetege. It looked like they had them trapped in, had them circled. But they fought out from that circle.
It was a nice attempt to aura farm from SUP, right-clicking those blades away, saying, I don't need them, but, well, now a price has been paid. A drought for FUT. Does BBL thrive in every fight down to the 3v2? The Spike looking towards the B site. Sociable heard a TP. He's suspicious. He's getting in just in time to catch Loida off. That's god-tier timing. And a fake TP across, but he's in that smoke. So is LaRock. Ahead of the curve, ahead of the play. And now all that remains is the man who's behind, Cristalli. Catching a timing, that smoke's gonna disappear very soon, but they've already slipped through to connector, and he's none the wiser. They could be back sight, but he's looking the right way. The right read, the right gamble, perhaps. But does he expect them both on the left? Them both sat in garage. He does now with the flash, but the game given away for the round win.
Good hold from BBL. I think they lose that round and the game spirals completely out of their control. You look at the way the FUT started this on. This wasn't just one guy running up. Sure, he was alone, but the amount of space that they were able to take behind them, and it turned into BBL just having to pause, just having to slow things down, having to wait for their opponents to make mistakes, and then...
Was that jumping? Is that?
By his reaction, I'm going to assume, yes.
A mid-air headshot?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
He was just meant to be the bait.
Wow, my eyes are burning.
Who's next?
I'll jump for you. Hits it anyways. A SUP, calm down. I think he's forgotten he doesn't have his blade storm. He's running at them. A man who got punished for aggression, for over-aggression in the previous round. And, well, he has not learned his lesson.
Oh, he got two, to be fair. He got two in the last round. Again, they have this player in the spawn surrounded. Rose is just trying to cling to life. He doesn't even know there's a man behind him. That's one eliminated, but it's taken time off the clock. The remaining 4 on the other side know they have to aggress. They've taken a link. They're not just sitting pretty and waiting to be surrounded this time. They have their space and they know the angles they need to fight from. Good use of utility, and it's Loiter to even things up, but Sociable was still in that corner, still keeping the advantage, but only for a moment. And as said, that time has been ticking. They need to get towards the spike, and even though they may have surrounded the leader, they did not kill off the remainder.
Excellent work from Loida, keeping that paranoia until the late round. It caught all 4 of them. It took the off out of the play, and it gave them that pick, an important pick onto Cristalli up close, but that the round before. A highlight that had to be seen again. Crazy work. As we see BBL heat up into this map. They gave FUT a little bit of a lead, only to catch right back up on them. 2 rounds behind. But the momentum has shifted here in the arena, that's for sure.
It seems to happen in the last map as well. Streaks of rounds for either side. Momentum will be one of, if not the biggest factor in the entirety of this match. And well, we saw aggression with the Bladestorm, aggression with the Operator. Now, down to a Marshall is SOP. He's the weakest weapon on the table. But they have still invested into this one. But for BBL, I think knowing there'll be some vulnerabilities, expecting there to be aggression, they're just grouping up, holding the line, clearing things out together, and not wanting to get caught by whatever trap has been set up by FUT.
Cristalli's only here for the information. As far as he knows, they've already taken A long. They're wrapping behind him. He's tucked safe. But he won't catch them off guard. BBL, methodic as they approach this A site. They're embedding Kreven for the late play. Beautiful timing for him. He slipped in. It's going to be a fight on Tietaje, but the man is unarmed. He had only a blade in his hand. It's an easy pickup for Kreven, and the spike makes it to the B site moments later. A great bait and switch from BBL, and a near unlosable round in a 5v3. Post-plant Hunter's Fury and all.
Yeah, they'd have to make some mistakes, but it doesn't seem like there's a plan to use that Hunter's Fury just yet.
I mean,
unless things start to go very badly wrong.
There's a rifle here. I think SUP's better off going and recovering it and carrying those 3 through to the next. You'll still be against 5 guys, but you'll have a few more yourself. And it looks like that is the play.
Yeah, I really like that round from BBL. Like we've seen them go for those aggressive dives in towards the B site already, so it's no surprise that when you have that faster paced take of control, when you clear that deep placed player in a weaker buy round, okay, we've just got to gamble. We've got to go all in on the other side of the map. And then you could see how much they were fooled by the fact that Yedege is just walking with his knife out. Like the guy that normally we talk about his awareness, a safe pair of hands. No, he was completely caught off guard. 3 in a row now for BBL, and then no sign of a pause just yet from FUT, not sounding those alarm bells, at least going into this one. It's going to be interesting even if how much they put into this round, because some of their players are still going to have some pieces missing in terms of credits. Like they'll probably get a rifle, light shields, but it's how much they want to spend with what they saved.
Well, it looks like they found something they like towards this B site. Found it wide open. They'll certainly like that. Again, the fact that Laroc can just get in there. See, the whole site is clear, and he even gets out. The first sign of danger, that man would have been out of it. And FUT find themselves robbed of a site. A chance to flank, cut down by not just a trip they can jump over, right? This is a trip that protects the A players, but if they do jump over it, then Rose is waiting, but he's not waiting anymore. A mistake made.
They had 2, in fact. A couple of players caught that made things interesting. It's enough to get the ult, and that will close out the round. It got dangerous for a second, but just clearing those positions. Sociable still manages to find one, but that spike has been ticking a while. And even a little bit of body spam in the middle. Laroc is not going to shy away from putting a few bullets on an already killed foe. It's BBL to make things 4-4. Maybe a little bit tougher than it should have been, but that's where you get the pause. That's where FUT finally decide to put the brakes on.
Yeah, Rose getting caught there, post plant, Hunter's Fury, flank protection. They lost so much. And look what comes in moments later. Laroc says, oh, flank's open. We got to get a new safe spot. We got to find some control. And that they do. Convergence path gets them into the fight. They get themselves out at neck and neck a ton.
From Na'Vi.
I bet they're regretting that now.
Yeah, probably not feeling great about that one.
Time to jump.
But now, as I said, both these teams, 2 maps for FUT and they're at champs. May even be able to do it on points. And for BBL, 1 more map, here and now. And they have completed their mission from Premier to Champions.
So, almost lost his eye to that recon dart right off rip, but it's all a ruse towards Garage. The TP's been heard down in sewers. Sociable's made the call, but Yedege won't have backup for a moment. He's going to hold the line himself, flanking up on Laroc. It's a great start, but he goes right back in. Perhaps overplaying his hand, but not with the convergence path on, and is back up there. An immediate dive through from Sociable and Sop. And Zeus, the cherry on top for the lead, back into FUT's control.
It seems whatever I've said has worked. I think Zeus having a quiet start to this game. Mentioned it before that he's definitely one of my favorite players when it comes to that waylay. And I think especially for that attack side, his combo with Sop is going to be important to build into this one. After the streak has been broken though, BBL are going to look to try and respond immediately. Let's listen in with the comms.
Trebi yok. 3 mid, Cypher abi büyük ihtimalle.
VL mid'de gördün mü? J-Long VL yürüyebilir.
Yo evet gördüm. VL de buradaydı.
Umut yürüsenize B'ye şu an Kaan.
Tamam gel yürüyorum.
Long'tan gidip adamın ütünü kırsana.
Evan'a smoke veriyorum.
AP'm var ver.
Zaten kamerası
Yok
kırık.
beyler adamı
Veremiyorum,
görmedim.
Yürü
veremiyorum.
B'ye. Yürü B'ye önüne.
GT'ye verdim Umut.
Adam A long'a smoke attı AP olduğunu
Yürü B'ye.
çok atıyorum.
Babalar yürüyün B'ye.
Tamam yürüyorum dur. En o daha da sadece kimi aldım haberin olsun.
Yürü kanka B'ye.
Kanka adam 26 vurdum.
Bravo.
Hemen
Ulti var.
ben
Ulti. Ulti ver.
J-Long'la sola durun açmış. Eren yok.
Buraya gelsene bir. Ses ver.
Gördünüz
Yok sakin. Ya yürü buraya.
Yürü.
B'ye dash attı. B'ye dash attı.
Gel,
B. C gel. Oturtmasını aldım. Veli'nin
Gelsene.
oturtması
Bekle
yok.
birlikte pikleyeceğiz oğlum.
Backside'de oyun. Backside'de geçmiştir
Gel.
çoktan.
Backside'de büyük
İyi,
ihtimal. Backside solda.
Backside'de.
Sola gel.
Yürüyorum.
Sağ yürüyor. Nice. Gel smoke ver. Utku top side oynarsın.
Double door atlasana. Longa güzel mi? Aldık round ultim var.
Reven kemin tepki
Umut
arasında.
bakarım.
Tamam. Tamam Eren o sen çık. çekleyeceğim. Window'a kalır gel.
Doğan, seni plata deşleteceğim. Var mı
Deşim yok,
deşim?
deşim yok. Hiçbir şey yok. Double AP. Double AP. Öldü double.
Öldü.
80 vurdum Sova'ya beyler. Bir face gelir.
Şuraya smoke ver.
17.
Paranoya atıyorum Buğut'a. Yetu yaklaşsana. Default'a
Hazır.
da atacağım.
Hazır.
Bekle. Go
Yakın,
Yetu
bir
yaklaş.
side.
Go.
Paranoya yedim. Ben 80 vurdum Sova'ya. Double'dan
Ben
koş.
oynuyorum.
Bekliyor default. Aman koyayım
Ben atıp sen oynamayın ya. Kör adam. Vuracağız.
My God, Loiter is having a game and a half. 13 and 6 sat at the top of the board, and it looked like that round was going the way of FUT until he stepped up.
It really did. Now we swapped over fully expecting them to take this one across the line. Players falling like dominoes and Loida just lights him up. Clean catches across the board, and you can see the frustration in FUT's coaching booth, but I don't think this is one where you need a timeout to solve that problem. That's just a huge step up from Loida, one of many that we've seen here today, even on this map.
This map in particular. We were, of course, talking about Lover's Rock, but I think this map has been more him. Okay.
And another big play by Loida.
Maybe one of the easiest so far. Even still, though, the advantage sits with FUT, and especially the space that's been taken. Now, considering the position in the round, this is still a risk. But Sop is always one to take it, and he's going to allow for his teammates to group up at least a bit. Yadajay in the corner. Even going to utilize, but he's going to get hit by the ult. It doesn't matter, though. He's tanking those ult shots and killing two while he does it. Yadajay appears, and BBL's lead disappears. 6-5. Those early rounds again, we're just seeing the parallels with how even these sides can be.
Yeah, that's what he's going to want to forget. Big kill as well towards the end. Yedajay finding Krevin while that trip went down, and it became much easier for Sop to walk up behind and close the round, even if that Hunter's Fury did catch a bit more. 6-5. One round left to play for in the half, and for now, well, it's looking just like map one. Too close to call. Sop with a Blade Storm. Last time he overheated. Tried to bite off a bit more than he could chew. Threw those blades away, and we saw BBL bounce back into the game as a result. This time he shows patience, some restraint, something that was missing earlier. When Lovers Rock down, well, the player of the moment is Loida, has been Loida, but they need someone else. 2 is all he'll get.
That's going to be difficult. The spike's still in the spawn. The way that these fights have been going, it forces BBL to be that little bit more passive, but more so I think they're just looking to group back up with the spike holder. Zeus, definitely, even just getting the kill at the end of one of the rounds has built him into this. He's feeling confident in the fight, but there's 2 players looking to almost round him at the same time, and he just about escapes. Stays alive with 11 HP, but he goes back for more. And can give the information over to his teammates. Okay, it should now be that push towards C, and the pressure onto Crystalli.
Krevin's gone past the trip as well. Jumps right over it. Zeus taking it clean as can be.
Time, though. They have to keep going, surely.
I said Krevin, I mean Yedajay, and that's the problem. Yedajay has that backstab on C. They had a choice. Go into the B site blind or hope you've taken out the C defender. Well, Crystalli still stands. 6 seconds, but there's time for a plant. Larocque will buy himself a moment to breathe, a reprieve, but Yedajay's already closer than he expects. He's already crossed to the site! Quick on his feet to find them a 7-5, a lead at the halftime for a FUT that needs this map.
Well, let's talk about parallels. Let's talk about the way that these games have been going. a map that they are 8 in a row in victories. As said, even if most of them have been in OTs or 13-11s, they always seem to get the dub. And I will say, maybe a little bit early, but it would be poetic if we end on Ascent.
It absolutely would. The 82nd province deciding who moves on, but looking at this map here, Tom, it's looking like we might end up there. BBL, I mean, the defining factor of the last map. Lloyd was there for a lot of moments, but he was a backup dancer to Lover's Rock, the star of the show. Well, that star has gone missing here on this map. I was going to say today, certainly.
Yeah, I was like, how long has this map been?
He's only got 4 kills in that across that first half. We talked about SOP, though, and a very similar performance on the same map, a slow start, and he bounced back. That's what we want to see from Lover's Rock,
got quite a lot of
not
info
in this round.
Yeah, I think this round might be over, not because of kills or damage or anything, but because of where SOP is. He's not a defender of the A site. He will be very soon. And he's been able to clear absolutely everything. His teammates are still taking their time. Obviously, the steps would also just give away everything for the rotation. I don't think you're ever going to see a map like this where you can see an attacker in the spawn of the defenders while the defenders still think they have a good hold on B. Like, guys, maybe we should start rotating to A. Oh, I've just heard a smoke. They might just be getting into the site. And then SOP is in their spawn.
It's a good paranoia as well, if it was even needed. Respecting the pistols clearly, and well, the Rock shows them why they should.
SOP.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
Okay.
He's back. He was just playing around with his food in Lover's Rock. Well, he might not be adding another death to the tally. He can always go down to the spike. I don't think he's going to do much to affect the outcome of this round. He does need to go down to the spike, to be clear, though, so he should get a little closer. There we go. He's on his way. Unfortunately, Zeus is waiting for that orb to be hand-delivered.
But he also has to move so that he doesn't go down to the spike.
He can't go down, yeah. He wants the rifle.
I think they're pinging where they think he is, and they are pretty much spot on. Zeus is watching, but it's not going to be quick enough. A 9th round onto the board for FUT. No one else saw that, did they?
I didn't see. I was looking again.
SOP sprayed the Heretics logo onto the wall and started shooting it with a Marshall.
I see. I see. He has a target in mind.
It's like SOP goes into every game and he's like, right, I'm probably making the enemy a BBL, but that's not enough. I need to upset someone else while I'm here. I love him.
18-7 for SOP. All the struggles of a bad start on Haven be forgotten, but for Lover's Rock, it's a bad start that continues into the second half. An immediate pickup. The sociable finds him down on short, and the A site becomes the target for FUT, or at least that's what they want BBL to think. Steps heard towards a long rotation called as Kreven comes in to reinforce the site. But those steps were all a ruse, as this utility will be as well.
It's just the most sociable round. Like, you have a Jet, you have a Waylay, players with exit mechanics, and he just walks short and shoots the guy in the head and then just walks away again.
They're not buying it.
No, rotation's coming in from the defense. They've got the right idea. The problem I foresee, though, is that the potential ruse that can be created is a problem if it's done in time. The smoke's now going over. I don't know if it's going to pull a rotation. It has forced one player to move, but they're still going to be in position. A good read, but do they now double back? And they do. They're going to try and run all the way to the other side of the map. But the defenders are not going to let them. They're going to try and get aggressive. There's a second player holding on to that cross.
Damage.
And it is good damage. But the main play now has to come from Rose. I don't even think he realizes they're coming this way just yet, or maybe how far up some of the players already are. 14 seconds as they look to move. That's one. A spike drop here could be a problem. Instead, he's going to go running through to try and kill this player off, and he's cleared out Yedajay. Down to a 2v2 this round. Didn't look like it would even be remotely close, but it comes down to just the final boss. But the final boss does not lose.
Some mind games in the mid-rounding there. You could see FUT putting the pieces together. The drone that they thought would keep players on A, it only kept Rose. But they realized that C was stacked up again. The Waylay being able to go in, take a sit rep, and get back out pays dividends. But they still have to rely on SOP. The thing is, he seems bloody reliable in every scenario. At least here on Haven, 10-5 now. FUT miles ahead, and now we saw this veto, and we very much hoped we'd see an Ascent. It looks like our dreams are coming true. Lovers Rock, though, the man who's struggled so far, he draws first blood this time around. The weapon that's dropped is great, but I don't think it's going to make its way into the hands of BBL anytime soon.
I don't like SOP having the spike. He is definitely the last player on this team I would want having that gun. Or sorry, having that spike.
He's the one that can defend it if he's pushed.
Look what he's doing! He pushes. He's just dived in with it. He's an absolute maniac. Well, luckily, his teammates will be there to clear. He just dived head first into a player. Well, I have to hope he didn't know he had it.
SOP must be a coach's, or at least an assistant coach's nightmare.
Specifically assistant coach.
Yeah, it's the harder job.
Yeah, of course.
And I understand why he'd say that if he has to work with this. Now, so we get the advantage, and what do we do then? Do we group up and push together? I dive in with Spike. With an outlaw. I run at them. That's what I do. It's like, no, SOP, no. We go together. We use utility. We trade. I run at him.
He's like,
outlaw.
I am utility.
I utilize my outlaw.
Utility dash. Dash is utility.
Dash on utility belt. It is utility. He's a crazy guy.
He's also been able to drag them through at least a few rounds, but I don't think there's much belief that they can turn things. And I'm also just seeing that SOP has a Blade Storm, which he's just going to send it, isn't he?
Yeah, I think the solo
he's
pushing
used
up
his
is
dash
always the way
immediately.
to go.
That's the op gone.
One
the op
man
is
down.
gone immediately, and so is LaRock. That's the sight hole dissipated in half a second by one guy.
It's just ridiculous. He is truly ridiculous. And the thing is, you know the madness that is coming, but it still messes with your mind to see it unfold. Fighting for 12. I would say his FUT, but it is basically SOP, a one-man army. If anyone else is needed, they have been there to answer, but there's barely anything left. He only found 2, but it's enough for FUT to push 12-5. Maybe not the 30 bomb on the table for SOP, but it might as well be at this point.
Yeah, this is absurd. That was them buying in with the operator, and not even just having the operator there, but having LaRock as backup. And he just wipes out both like it's a stroll in the park, like it's an easy day at the office.
He uses his dash to go up long. Usually that's the thing you use to like change position,
escape,
to not get shot at, to get to cover. He just goes, I'll get to them quicker this way. Fantastic. A crazy man indeed, but crazy is exactly what they needed on FUT. One more round, 7 chances to close, and Ascent will be the one that sends one of these Turkish teams to champions.
Wow, an EMEA. An Ascent map between these two in the past was the longest map we had in history. I think BBL might have to pick themselves up if that's going to happen, because right now they are down in the dumps. It's not just one player, it's 4 of the 5. And on the other side of things, yes, there is a tip of the spear that's going through each player on the BBL side, and he's looking to do it again. This time they've shut him down with just 1. Thankfully, for their sake, they might at least get themselves a defensive round. In fact, that was LaRock. I had never expected to see that level of whiffery, which is a new word I'm coining, from him.
30
For
seconds
Crystalli.
left.
Not really much to gain. Rose will get their first round, but they need 6 more in a row. And I'll be honest, even though they won it, it's not filled me with any confidence.
No, I think seeing LaRock whiff like that at this stage of the game, that's all hopes with Ascent for BBL, at least in my book. I thought I'd look down and see the Sova utility, but and we've slowed it down. You love to see it. There was just no need. And Rose got there, and then only one bullet needed. 6 rounds in a row for BBL. Stranger things has certainly happened, but listen, Lloyd has got 20 kills. No one else has hit double digits in the kill department on that defensive side. So I won't be holding my breath. Especially not with Sop feeling like he's only seconds away from a big play at every turn of the game.
Yeah, you can kind of see why they put him back on the Jet.
It does look decent.
He had more impact in a singular round than he did in the entire attack side of Haven yesterday on Neon. And the same amount of kills as well. Rock, this is a nasty position, and it isn't expected, at least not quickly enough. That's a spike down. Can he get out through the door? Yes, he can. Perfect flight, 10 out of 10 dive. And that leaves a massive disadvantage. An easy kill, though, it seems, for J Rose. Not having the best of times. And Lovers Rock maybe deciding that playing this one as a team is a more worthwhile fight.
Cover going out. Like this from Sociable. He's the man that can get past that trap wire. But it's been taken back. It's been taken back just moments later. Luckily, Kreven was able to evade that shot. BBL have an advantage. And they need to make sure they don't give it away. The ults combining to take down Yedajay, but Sop again. He's brought it back to a 2. He's going in! Oh my God, what is Sop? This man is crazy! The 4K to close it out for FUT. I don't think I've ever seen anybody play the game the way this man does.
Guess what? 29 kills. It wasn't quite the 30 from again. And matching his opponent man for man, pound for pound. It is the Turkish derby. It was never going to be a 2-0. We are going all the way to 3 maps, and we are ending this on Ascent. I wouldn't have it any other way. And again, let's be real, there's only one man we want to hear from. It was Lovers Rock last time, and it's Sop this time.
Question is, can someone hit 30?
Why not both? Now both of you go for it. No, it is a game full of storylines. FUT being a last place finisher at kickoff, making it to London, and now looking to close the year out with a bang. And BBL, a team that has played all the way from Premier to where they currently stand, a single map away. And while Sop is a single man on a mission, everybody else has been sectioned off by that deadlock wall. And he had to try and fight alone. This time, Larocque has shut him out.
Sop down and out, what Hypok talked about, splitting that attack, isolating Sop, and it's job done for BBL to start with. But FUT take it slow. The re-hit coming in towards the B site. Mid being taken as we speak, but BBL passive. Biggest risk they take is that jump peak on top mid, bottom mid. I always get confused. It's on the top of the map. But it's giving them the information at very low cost, and Lovers Rock straight onto the head of Sociable. Gonna make that an easy kill for someone to finish off.
Yeah, this is tough now.
Whoop.
The players on the defense here. Zeus, even still, though, has done well. Kreven trying to
30 seconds left.
find a gap, and I guess he has done. Sociable adds another to the death toll. In fact, it started strong, but it's slowly dwindling. It leaves 2. The healthiest 2. Currently within this server to try and fight this one back, but Zeus just has not been missing in this round, and now leaves it to Loiter, the one piece that was still firing in the last, to try and fight versus 3. Another clutch to add to his name, but they are waiting for him. And although he may have got a second shot off after the headshot, it wasn't quite quick enough. FUT claim the pistol.
Zeus taken down, but he had a buddy by his side. It's a 1-0 start for FUT. And after the last map, things to keep your eye on really are players like Lovers Rock having a bad performance, something he talked about already the start of the day before this matchup. We heard it in the interview. He was struggling to get 10 kills on the board on Yoru. That map 1 felt like a real recovery for him, a sign to continue. But map 2 is anything but. It was good enough for Sop to get his jet out here. And if FUT can continue reminding BBL of the story of the previous. It can certainly spiral into their favor. It's not a bad trade. I like the idea. Swing together on mid. A firing squad has managed an even trade. And I think taking SUP down early like that in an eco round, it has its value as well. Keep him modest.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to affect the confidence. After the last map, he came in, said in the interview that his goal for the next 10 minutes or so was to convince his coach that he should play this Jet over the Neon. It's not been a great start to the game, but
take flight.
I think comfort has always been the story of FUT. That's why this team rose back from the ashes of kickoff was, okay, let's pick up players that fit what we want, which was the double duelist, and then let's stick to it. Let's not try and pretend to be anything we're not. Let's not put players in uncomfortable roles that they don't want to play. Let's make sure everybody is in a place where they can play their best, and I think that's why they've been so exciting. Yeah, a little bit easy to read at times, but that doesn't mean that it's easy to stop. In this round, the question now becomes, do BBL just go down to the spike? Especially with Zeus still alive, do you want to give him an orb? Seems they do.
Looks like, yeah, they're not too worried about it. Feeling they can get some damage done. Anyways, make this costly. Definitely keeping FUT on site as time keeps ticking, but they get those kills too quickly. Not a lot done for what they've given away.
No, they had multiple pistol players, so absolutely nothing lost for FUT, and what they gained was Zeus is now one away from having to run it back. That's why you see teams go down to the spike, because you don't want to give them this, which is opportunities to get ultimates online going into your bonus round, because that's what starts to turn bonus rounds into winnable rounds.
Yeah, they wanted to make FUT pay a price for that round, and instead, giving Zeus those orbs might be what really proves to be costly for BBL. One away. And earlier on in this stage, he would have had it already. Thanks a lot, Durka. Yeah, he sight the target. Sonic sensors waiting for a peep, but Lloyd is not waiting. He's getting in there early on, and luckily for him, he's made it out. Pounce on the trip, good as well as LaRock finds one and goes back for more on the paranoia. Great work done. Leaving it down to two. Two men stuck in a smoke with players holding them. I'm not sure where Sociable thought he was going. And he met the fate that, well, I think was pretty clear from the outsider perspective.
I love the fact that it still seems like he's baiting for SOP when SOP had an SMG and he had a rifle. Yeah. Like, it still feels like he'll do anything to give this guy an opportunity to thrive. But again, these are the things we enjoy from LaRock on this map. The deadlock utility has always been stellar from him, but it's still having that raw individual firepower.
Let's go!
I think that's what makes him special in comparison to so few, is that he can stick it out on any agent and still drop 30, can still take over the game. We've seen him do it. It's probably the best feature of this map for them, is his performances. Okay, sure, we've seen some increase since Lovers Rock has moved back to the Yoru, but there's no doubt that LaRock needs to be on this game.
Joke's over! You're dead!
Well, the run it back we knew was coming, activated by Zeus. He's made it out past the util, and there's a man on a drone in danger. Zeus runs out of ult, and now a big catch thrown through. SOP's been taken, but he makes it back out. A double from Crystalli makes it possible, and Loida ends up all alone. A nice ultimate from LaRock, but they tried to follow up on it, put on the pressure, and FUT seemed more than ready.
Yeah, they tried to catch them, and FUT just reacted faster. A quick couple of kills all towards the back of that site. Nice shot from Loiter, but this is all just a ploy to try and hold on to the weaponry. And you can see the attack side, well, at least one man is already on the hunt. So, but by the way, it doesn't need the ultimate orbs. He's just doing this purely for the stats, purely to remove that weapon from enemy hands. But this is the great start that FUT were looking for. And although I do think that when it gets to map 3, at the end of a day, and you start talking about sides of the map, the relevance definitely dips. It becomes more the individuals, more the ideas of the IGLs. You are looking at both sides, theoretically, on their favored side of the map. The last 3 times that this has been played by BBL, 8-4 defense, 10-2 defense, 8-4 defense. And the last couple of times for FUT, you're talking about their 7-3 attack and an 11-1 attack. So this first half should be relatively defining, but I do also think that when you talk pressure, when you talk stakes, a final map that could be defining for these teams here.
Well, SOP was seeping venom in that last round, caught by the net, but it didn't make a difference. They ended up the ones caught in a trap looking to follow up on it, running into the waiting arms of FUT. This time it's the waiting arms of BBL, of LaRock, and it's a great start. A clean headshot, and importantly, SOP is the man removed. Ooh. Doesn't look like this will be around for Zeus to farm orbs either. He's also missed his wall. He didn't step back far enough, so no heal for him from that. Instead, having to use the hot hands, and even that won't get him to 100.
No, they're trying to figure out the stack. They've got themselves the neural theft, so the editor's going to go walking back up. He's got to be careful, especially with those Guardians in hand. That could have been him dead to rights, and it seems at least like BBL have had a decent read initially. But then they gamble. The 50-50. All in on A or all in on B. Unfortunately for them, they've gone all in on A. And well, actually, timing here could work for them. The editor, he looks away at the wrong moment. Even still, he gets one. 11 HP, and he's going to be able to escape at that. I thought that might be a gun on the floor for them to play with. Instead, now, Sociable playing stopper. There's nowhere I expect to see an Odin in most cases, but he has managed to find the kill anyway. Where is he going?
Oh man, what is Sociable up to? My brother's making crazy plays. The drone couldn't find him in time. He just paranoias and spams the smoke. We're down to a 2v2. This is losable. Again, this is not a one round that he's throwing out those kind of risks in. Haymakers when just a few taps will do. But time is now ticking. Zeus is on a good angle, but the shot is missed. Luckily, he recovers in the end. And the time alone will decide this fight unless Lloyd can quickly rid himself of Cristalli. But now, it is too little too late. Zeus only needs the time on his side, and the shot is more than enough. He won't escape with his life. It will be a weapon lost, but they avoid a round lost, and that was the aim of the game.
Yeah, there's just so many moments in these rounds where you go, this just feels insane from FUT to even be attempting these sort of things, knowing they're against a weaker buy, and then, yeah, Sociable ends up getting caught, almost letting that round slip away, and losing every single member for it. Even still, it's not going to be them to take the pause, of course. 4-1 in the lead. BBL
fight for their flights to Shanghai a little bit later on.
It's not a death sentence, but we already know the caliber of teams in that lower bracket. Enterprise went there earlier today. Nice shock dart initially. Even the net looking to re-aggress. SOP is just running through everything. And honestly, he deserved to be punished. It's LaRock once again. The man who kicked off map number 1 with some next level plays. The spam from Yedege is not far away, but there's already a crossfire built up, and Kreven, well, the spam wasn't enough. What a response already from BBL, and in zone flawless.
And Kreven needed a round like that as well, catching them off guard, dodging the spams. He's back on the board. It's been a tough start for him. But LaRock here, gorgeous work. And man, you talked about needing to be online, and yeah, there was a missed dash in there from SOP that I do think would have made the difference had he made it out of that choke point. But LaRock does his best to clean up before any real danger presents itself. It's a 4-2 scoreline. BBL not letting FUT run away with the early half, and with tight rounds so far, it's not an easy bounce back for FUT. They're left to pistols, and the one rifle they've got, no one's really surprised. It's being gambled on SOP.
Yeah, it turns out being super aggressive can cause you some issues. So can the sheer pace, but the paranoia should slow them a little bit. Maybe even make them, I was going to say question themselves, but that's not the case. They're all putting pressure in a TP into the smoke as well. SOP up top, but they are being wiped out. Even still a trade here and there, but for Yedajay, he didn't have a weapon to play with, and he won't get one either. BBL, with 3 alive, stand on business and keep themselves in this map.
This was looking like a really dangerous start to the final map. Seeing BBL go missing, I didn't know if they could get back on the map if they went that far off course, but now just 1 away. Starting to feel that bit more confident. SOP buys a rifle here. Goes on top of Jen as well, which is a little crazy. But he only gets away with 1. The real danger is that was a low buy. The full buy is coming up for FUT, and they're 1 away from a run it back with so multis locked and loaded. And right away, you can see they want that orb. They want to put the pressure on from the barrier going up. And Zeus is going in.
Has he TP'd up? He's TP'd up top! The Sociable just stuck it, and then Lover's Rock tries to be cheeky through the smoke. Now the TP goes the other way! Both from the shadows are manic, risky as hell. Well, one succeeds and the other is punished immediately. They both deserve to be punished. I'll be real with you. They both deserve to die. Only one of them bites the bullet. The second almost goes as well. And
oh, that would have changed the game. They might have went for it. 3v3? There's no way they continue to save if he just fires a few more shots. But in his mind, if he does that, he probably just dies. So I understand why he doesn't, but we can see they were a few shots from a very, very different scenario. Fortunately, BBL do have to save these weapons.
yeah, this is just a pace change from FUT. They've been going for a lot of mid control. Plays towards short. You can see even where the trips were in this round to try and deny the sort of paciness they've been hitting with, splitting through middle as well. This time they just go direct through A, using that ultimate from Zeus, who has been having a great game so far. And it left BBL with little to no choice. Again, I'll say that the TP from Sociable, I'm guessing we're going to see it. Yep, he's full blind, still decides to stick it the whole way through. And then you can see even then, like, Lover's Rock is like, okay, you must have been there. Then Loita tries to go back the other way.
Oh, they'd hit the net. Okay. No, they hit the net on the players in main, so it's not that egregious.
I think there was a second player,
from Loita, but yeah, he at least gets his rifle up a lot of the time, fortunately. A little bit too slow in making his way over.
Oh.
A crazy round indeed for BBL. An aggressive start has caught Zeus immediately. And although the run it back was the key feature of the previous round, there'll be no running back the start of this fight. This one's final. And an advantage claimed by BBL takes a lot of weight off their shoulders.
Yeah, Zeus has been a problem for them. I think especially him not farming up any orbs. Okay. A little information back towards mid, but it hasn't seen... Yeah, he's been able to get a lot more control. Now, they're giving the space up, so unless he was going to move at that exact moment...
Lloyd has no idea.
I feel like he should have some iota of an idea, but no, it doesn't seem like that. The rotations will also have been hurt, but they're still putting the pressure on. Lover's Rock also hasn't seen anybody, so that now the push comes in, and that's the moment the Yettage strikes. He's found one in the backline. Even still, though, there's a couple of players here. Larocque, Lover's Rock, Rose, holding the line. Even with that backstab, it is meaningless. And Crostali, well, unfortunately, there will be no escape this time.
Yeah, he's not getting out of this one. BBL. That was a round that had me very worried, to be honest. The position Yettage got to could have completely unraveled the round. Even after a solid opening in this 5v4, this could have been the end. But he only gets the one. Caught by Rose, who's also had a pretty awful game so far. Not even looking at the stats. Looking at so many moments where he pulls out his utility just as someone crosses the line he was holding. Or swings right into him as he fires an arrow out.
That's a pace change again.
Important pick. Good shot.
Yeah, they've done this a couple of times. The second they lose a slower round, they go right back into a faster round. And again, it's this deadly duo of Zeus and Sop. And once more, you could see Sop wanted to keep going. But now a decision has to be made. Are you just saving again immediately?
Planted.
Portal closed.
Spark of confidence could be snuffed out right away. I think the save is the call, but they're sticking around too long. That option no longer available. Not without a fight. Sop, he's already spotted one. He's seeing the head of Lloyd. He'll take it clean off. And Lover's Rock not far behind. I don't know where Sociable thought he was. My man's been caught off a couple times. But luckily, the rest of the crew still looking healthy. Barnes Sop, who of course is looking for his fourth. 6-4 now for FUT. And Sop is very much back on form.
This is the thing, if you're LaRock, you're constantly pointing at this guy. And he's almost looking at you as like a disappointed parent. He's not impressed with what you're going for. And these are the reasons why he will respond eventually. A 6th round. We've seen close halves all the way through this series so far. Even when it was the last finishing 13-6, it was still a 7-5. But this could be the most dominant one, at least in the first half so far, unless there's 2 rounds coming back for BBL.
Well, if there are, or if there's any rounds, it might have to be this one. Big investment, up in the hands of Lover's Rock. No challenge coming his way. Instead, it's towards short. Hunter's Fury active
net.
on the back of the net. Rose able to take a double with ease. And the fight back not looking good for FUT. They've lost the spike and it's been walled off. And Yedajay
Here.
left alone to deal with the fallout. Beautiful response from BBL to that fast, short pressure coming out of FUT.
Yeah, fantastic setup. They needed to have LaRock in the right place at the right time. They needed the Hunter's Fury to be ready, but the read that they had has caused so many problems for FUT in this round. For Yedajay, a save, not really necessary. He could look to try and make this one costly. Of course, maybe having Sop on an extra rifle would be nice, but with him having a Blade Storm going into the next round, I think he'll be dead before he uses the rifle, or everyone else will be dead. But it seems he wants to make sure that that is at least an option for them. But maybe also not wanting to give LaRock an extra orb towards that Deadlock ultimate.
10 seconds left.
Either way, it is going to be 6-5. As I said, we've not had a dominant first half throughout the entirety of this map so far. And at most, it is going to be a 2-round difference.
Well, 1 round to play for indeed. Again, we're in that same spot. Deja vu, map 1 and 2. We were in the same position. 7-5 either way. Look at that setup, man.
It's perfect.
It really is gorgeous. And considering that on the other side of the map, if you avoid this setup, you have to then contend with an operator in the hands of Lover's Rock. There's no easy round. There was no easy way out once that net landed. FUT were caught. And now, all they can do is lock in a 7-5 lead. But looking back at Haven, it was more than enough there.
I said at the beginning, though, it seems like these are both teams' favored half, and we're going to have to see if maybe they're just normally dominant on them and they've got a lot more in the tank, or if one of them has more of those vulnerabilities. We expected a close series between these two, with everything on the line, with champions, Barcelona, but more importantly, the pride of World Stop with the Blade Storm. As said, he's not going to get a chance to use the other gun. A fight from Rose gives the game away. A swing out coming, and it's going to be Yedajay again. That 7-5 looking inevitable. Unless Kreven can hit a timing hit, they are watching that smoke like an absolute hawk, trying to make sure there's no chance for him. And well, he's gonna get knifed! What a way to end the first half for Sociable! A little bit of disrespect.
And it goes a long way for FUT. 7 to 5 up at the halftime. The Turkish derby will be decided in the next half. One of these teams locking in champions. And to remind us of the importance of this match, we've got Sideshow after this.
Nice! Come on, I take 7 every day.
BBL, they look to bring that crown to the global stage. But before that, Barcelona. And of course, you can go there too by scanning the QR code. Get yourself some tickets for our Stage 2 finals. One of these teams will lock in their tickets not just for Barcelona, but for Shanghai as well. Very shortly. And it starts with FUT on the defensive side. She's showing a little bit of presence in mid, lighting Loida up and sending the rest of the attackers into the B site. Crystalli's been a beast to be reckoned with when it comes to the pistol rounds, but Zeus jumps the gun by taking 1, turns it into 2, and then Crystalli's here
Spike down B.
to lock it down and leave just a few points of HP between FUT and a huge start to the second half.
I think the best they can hope for is orbs. Lovers Rock taking the time to clear one of them, but Crystalli is so aware of the position. A chance to boost into this second half. Guarantee themselves an additional lead and do it in zone flawless fashion. FUT in the driver's seat of this map, and while having both pistols under their belt, you normally talk about the idea that that should be enough to take a map home. But I think that the story of these two teams and the story of Turkish Valorant has always been momentum. And I think there's no doubt that with the back and forth that ended.
Spike!
I'm looking for my dog named Spike. I just can't find him. I know how you feel, brother.
Fenton.
Fenton! Iconic meme. Good reference. I rate that. I've enjoyed that if no one else has. For BBL, it's pistols, classics, all they've got to work with, and a 9-5 scoreline seeming like it will be impossible to avoid for this attacking side. We heard it from Sideshow there during the halftime. For BBL, it was the second bite of the apple when it came to the Ascension system, and well, if this carries on, it may have to be the same here.
To be honest, that was the best thing that could ever happen, though. The two of their players being too young. Loiter and Larocque wouldn't have been able to play until this year anyway. It might have been the end of the team that we see before us. It might have been the end of a team that made it immediately to a Masters. That in itself was impressive.
Enemy kill.
But the fact is, there's a reason FUT have always been considered the top class of Turkish Valorant. And I know, man, it's definitely after the watershed. We should have been able to show that, but I feel like it was so disgusting that it might have been removed.
Oh, this one might turn your stomachs. This is a guy who I cannot stress enough has been punished for over-aggression. Rounds like this have been thrown away. Look at him go. Yeah, fantastic. He got 2. No, it's what he does next. You scumbag. That is disgusting, and I love it. 9-5 for FUT, and to say they're feeling confident. This man's on his feet for a reason. 4 rounds ahead. And for BBL, this is a must-win.
Yeah, maybe the greatest steal in transfer history, getting him out of that Eternal Fire core and getting him into this roster. Sociable as well. From a piece that was failing in the Na'Vi system to the leader of this FUT side. A last place finish before they joined at kickoff to Masters London and potentially Barcelona and champions at that. They're putting themselves in a good spot regardless. And while Sop, he said at the end of the last, I want to be on the jet. I want to play the role that I've just dropped 29 on in the previous map. It's going to be tough to get close to that with how they're currently going, but he started this round, this bonus round, off strong.
I think it's the same as what we saw from Sociable when he has the rifle, but he baits for Sop. do whatever you can to keep this kid happy, to keep him confident, because look at the miracles he is performing when he's given that chance, when he has that belief. And this man, if his team don't believe in him, be damn sure he believes in himself. Perhaps a bit too much, running through the wall.
Okay.
He overheated, he burned too bright, but that flame might not be snuffed down because the judge of Sociable
Didn't close the door.
has found BBL lacking. The shock dart puts him to 11, but that won't keep them back. FUT find themselves on 10. And for BBL, that last map fresh in their memory while they're reliving it.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like more of the same, except this time Loiter's not at the top. They've relied on LaRock to have crazy individual rounds, and unfortunately when it comes to individual rounds, there's only one man who's really stepping up to the plate. Sure, he needed some help because he did run in, but you can see now he's up on his feet. He was holding on to that energy for the end of the game, and they sit just 3 rounds away from taking FUT to champions once again. A completely different look to the roster, a complete rebuild away from where they were at the last time they went. Only Yetajay will remain. But this round's going a bit better for BBL. Up until that shot. Wait, did they still kill him? How's he survived that long? He should have been dead far earlier. But again, it comes down to LaRock, and well, no mistakes made.
It comes down to LaRock, and he would have had a chance if anyone but Sup was still alive. 11-5 now. FUT on the verge of doing something beautiful, and BBL, they know the beginning of the end has already passed them. Their final timeout, used here, used now. But Sociable must feel like it was divine intervention to keep him alive through all of that. Evoking the name of Marcellus Wallace to keep himself from harm. It's 11-5, and FUT, all confidence and all
Entire year, and then they took a gamble. A gamble on, well, hearing that SOP was available and just immediately saying yes, but then also changing leadership. Mr. Farland have been in the helm of this team for a long, long time, and they gambled on Sociable, and that gamble might have the biggest payoff that we've seen in a long, long time. BBL now needing a streak of rounds with 0 losses if they want to do it in regulation. They spotted out these players above. A flash going to be popped to try and help out the team on the way through, but SOP is going back for more.
He's missed a shot. He's missed another. That's still a lifeline for BBL, but how is he allowed to shoot 3? Nay, 4 times? And nobody shoots back? Are they that afraid of SUP? Are they that scared of the fight that they will have to take sooner or later? FUT are on their way, and they're taking no quarter. Dead men tell no tales, and it's bodies all over the site. FUT on 12-5, and they are showing no signs of slowing.
I don't think InZone Flawless quite covers the level of disrespect and decimation we've just seen on that retake. I thought for sure, at a minimum, SOP should have been dead from the 4 re-peaks out the corner of their utility, but then the retake was flawless. Barely a bullet connecting onto the players of FUT. And it's seeming like a battle. One more. Back and forth between these teams is going to go with BBL out on a whimper. 7 rounds in a row needed to compete with FUT, not to even fight against them. That's just to go to OT. No victory to be had. And they might not even get that much. They are being brawled for, but Lovers Rock has given them a light at the end of the tunnel.
But a very bright light interrupts their push. The flash from Zeus, the run it back used, and the shock dart on the way. It'll tickle him up, it'll do some damage, but Zeus remains! Yetajay with the trade has left Lovers Rock all alone. the operator in his hands, and a TP to get him far, far from home. Away from this site, away from this danger. He has dodged that drone beautifully. They might think he's already gone. He's already TP'd out, but they're not going to rush into the site to confirm. No, it is patience from FUT. Yedege sits on his camera on B. He knows that that player hasn't moved. And now they can take this together from heaven. Two-man rushing down the operator, but the gate crash has gotten him far enough away. And of course, Cristalli thinks he's closer. He had time to play with, but he had no way of knowing! Cristalli connects it anyways! And 13-5, a more dominant display than the last. FUT are going to champions, back to the international stage! And they do it over BBL. Lock